ukipata ana hiyo 30,000 anaenda anakopa branch, anakopa wapi, anakopa mabeshti ndio apelekee pastor muombe apate kazi ya 70,000. Jamaa hajafikiria hii 30,000 sinaweza tengeneza biashara, invest kwa biashara ya kuuza smoki na mayai nitengeneze. Unaona, so ni brainwashing, yani uongo bila kazi.
But you have a question, why is it that a lot of women ndio wanakuanga affected na hizi mambo na religion?
Juu wanawake tunajua kuact bwana. Like ladies know to act. Tunajua some men they don't entertain jokes. So maybe it's we find the person and find it hard to approach men. But ladies bwana, unafungwa lesson.
The Amaran podcast, and today's topic is religion. My name is Peter Onsari.
My name is Bridget Karemi.
My name is Ryan Brown.
My name is Hope Kispan.
So guys, Hope, when was the last time you went to church?
Yesterday.
Are you sure?
Ulienda church?
Buri jana nilikuwa church.
Juma mimi kitu kile najua sisi kwanza majenzi si wengi wanaendanga church.
But sikuwa nimekaa sana bila kwenda, by the way. Like nimekaa for 2 months bila kwenda.
So jana nimerudi.
Nilienda tena sasa kurudi church.
The prodigal daughter.
I thank God since I became a pastor, sijai kosa church.
Hey.
Kosa church ni God.
You're a pastor.
Tukikosa church ni God. Hapo ndio.
Kwani amwezi niamini. I mean, mimi ni pasi church. Naweza kuwa pastor wa mapenzi, pastor. Like I'm an all-rounded pastor. So, siwezi kosa church. Nikose kwa nini?
Kwani siku hizi kuna pastor wa mapenzi mbona sikuelewi?
That is how it is. Utaelewa tutaendeleza.
Hey.
Anyway, na Bridget, when was the last time you went to church?
Wewe naenda kanisa, sijai kosa church. I think I missed only thing kwangu.
But kama mnaangalianga status za daily, she always goes to church. Na hata naanga hapo kwa team ya worship, and then wakimaliza ile group initangwa ile ni wana entertain Christians hapo, they are in the background wanacheza Christian songs and then they dance.
Na kuanga hapo.
Hapo nanga ile alikuwa amevalia apron na like an engineer helmet.
Why do I feel like una side delia sana? Me I think
no, that it's fact. Like sijai kosa church.
Anyway,
when you teacher was Sunday school.
Hapana, teacher Sunday school.
I also went to church. I'm a Catholic. I went to church. Yes, I do go to church. I also go to Christian Union for the weekly services that are usually at hapa shule Zitek. We do have Christian Union. Yes, Ran, I would love to invite you. Pastor
Ryan. Pastor wa mapenzi.
So guys, kuna kitu mimi sijaielewa. Kwa sababu ukikaa vizuri angalia, religion is the best thing, but again kuna watu wanasemanga religion. Also, I'm one of the people who believes, but religion is the worst weapon ever to be made. Achana na hizo bomb ati Nagasaki na Hiroshima, achana na hizo wanazitanga aje zile bomb, hizo bomb kali. Nuclear. Achana na nuclear bomb. Religion. Unajua religion ni kitu mtu anaweza kuua na mdomo tu na Kenya anasema ati ana quote. Ndio unaweza kukwambia toa kwa sababu this in the book of ni verse gani inaongeleleanga kutoa?
Tithing Malachi.
Wanasema in the book of Malachi inasema the more you give is the more you receive. But anakupotea hivyo tena anakuambia ni pesa. Kwa sababu me understand honestly, it's not all about how much you give, the money you give, it the act of service, the acts of services, hizo zinaitwa acts of services. Hizo zenye unafanya, hizo ile mazuri una si lazima upatiane utoe pesa kwa mfuko peane. It could be the kind of work you put into the church, maybe kusaidia ku set up pews, kusaidia like kuna vitu mingi unaweza give back to the community. In a way of compassion. So si lazima ikue ati ni pesa.
And do you think like tithing is something that is mandatory in the church?
No. It's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. It's something from someone's heart. For example, if I'm earning but I don't want to give it to the church, it's not a must. The pastor can tell me to remove it by force or to give it. I can't.
And yet, I think if you remove or not, nobody. It's only God.
It's only God.
You know, I went to some other church and something that I found different was that You see, before the pastor start preaches, mnatoa sadaka, ndio mnaendelea. And I also went to another one. Let me. Is it right? I quote the name of the church.
You can.
I can just
feel
give
free. Yeah.
SDA.
Yeah.
When I went to SDA, I found that they have a very different way of giving offerings with the other churches. Then I was like, ni sadaka inatolewa ama
kuna kuanga na matoleo.
Ni nini mtu anafaa kupata? Neno ndio mtu anafaa kupata. Then it was like some people were leaving. Mtu ashatoa tu sadaka tu hivi ameenda. Kuna wengine, have you ever seen these people in church whereby time ya nini imefika, watu wamemaliza, then anaona kama offering, time ya offering iko karibu, wametoka wameenda.
But when I have something, people go to church with kila mtu ako na intentions zake. There's a person mwenye ataenda church because of only praise and worship, like that moment. There's a person ataenda church to offer to God, maybe Mungu amemfanyia kitu. Kuna mwenye ataenda church because of someone, like we are different. Kuna mwenye maybe hata anangi someone maana, but that mood of praise and worship imemtosha. So I don't think you're going to judge the people who go like matumu kanisa after mtoa sadaka. Maybe like whatever they wanted for, like washatosheka.
Yeah. I think me I side with her because I believe at the end of the day wanasemanga church ni kama hospitali. Kila mtu anaendanga na shida zake huko kwa church. So kama mimi shida yangu ilikuwa like I want to feel God's presence ama there is a prayer that I want to communicate to God. Nikishaenda church, it does not si lazima ningoje mpaka service iishe ndio niambie Mungu kile anataka. Naweza enda pale 10 minutes or just like God, thank you for today and this is the what I have for you today, or this is what I want to tell you today. Na unatoka. So kama Catholic churches inakuwa kitu cha kwanza ni Bible. Una preaching kitu ndio inakuwa kitu cha kwanza. After preaching, then sadaka. After sadaka and then you share the Holy Communion. Like yeah, that even though sisi tunakuwa kuna church wanaanza na sadaka.
Yeah, churches mingi zinaanza na sadaka. The Pentecostal churches zinaanza na sadaka, most of them. And religion being quite broad. Kuna Islamic, kuna Hindu, kuna Sichini, kuna atheist. Do you think it's right for us to kutoka from one place to the other? Unafind mtu kwanza udogo wake amekuwa Christian. Then most of JURA'S mnaona siku hizi they try to shift into the Islamic culture. Do you think that is right?
To me, I think religion or it's someone has. For example, as long as everyone has, kila mtu anakuanga na God yake. The Muslims have their own God. The Christians have their own God. The Hindus have their own God. There is no way you can tell me, for example, if I'm a Christian and another person is a Muslim, I'll tell you your God does not exist. And you yourself as a Muslim, you know that you have a God. And I myself have a God. So to me, I can't judge someone who is a Muslim, and I can't also judge someone who is a Hindu or another religion, because everyone has a God. Now maybe this person prays na prayers zake zinakuwa answered. You get now because this Hindu anaomba and then prayers zinakuwa answered, and it shows that there is a supreme being of which son is God yake mwenye anapray. Now me as a Christian, I also pray and my prayers zinakuwa answered. This means that I also have a God. So I can't judge anyone. So everyone, wacha mtu akae kwa religion anafeel comfortable.
Hiyo point yenye amesema ni ukweli sana. Because tell me why the people who are ruling the commercial world in the bank, the biggest bank, World Bank, Bank of Africa, the watu wenye wana rule kwa charge of those banks ni watu wanitanga Judaism ama wanitanga wa Judaism. Watu wa Judaism. Wale wenye wana believe in the first 4 books. The Torah. They only believe in the Torah. Is it the other books of the Bible? They don't believe in them.
Why now behavior is You see, Peter, I've just recalled, sorry to cut you short, I've just recalled you told me that you have to be in a seminar.
I was in a seminary school. I wanted to be a priest.
You don't fit this place.
I said I wanted to be a priest. I'll tell you why I didn't.
Hiyo kanisa ingeanguka chini.
Sasa ukiangalia hizo hawa watu wenye wana hizo, they are very successful people. Hao ni watu they believe on the only 4 books of the Torah. The rest they don't believe in the rest of the books. Haya, kuna the Muslims. The Muslim countries are one of the wealthiest countries in the world. It's not because that wako na oil, because Congo hapa iko na a lot of resources but hakuna kitu. It's not about it's not about the wako na the resources that they have. Kuna system wenye wako nayo na hiyo system kwanza ya Islamic country there is of sharia laws. Very strict laws na they are very successful. Wezi niambia ati wanaomba na si unajua sisi wote tunaombanga tukue successful. So inamacha there is a certain altar wame subscribe into. That's why akiomba Mungu semanga Allah Akbar. So kuna mali anaomba na ile kitu anaomba ana receive. Ndio maana anaweza kumaintain hiyo yenye ako nayo. So hata atheist, Elon Musk hapa ni atheist. He's a very successful, the richest man on earth. He does not believe in God. I believe so. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Elon Musk is an atheist. He believes in science. In as much as I believe in science, ile wakati ameset rockets zake hapa anataka iende Mars, anasemanga I hope this project, kwa sababu kuna project zake mingi zimekata zinaanguka. Unajua rocket, kuweka rocket iende Mars, ikianguka hiyo amepoteza like billions of money. So but ile wakati ana set hizo experiments zenye moja inataka kuenda anasemanga I hope this works. You hope, I hope this works. There is a certain level of the faith. So kuna kitu yenye ana believe in. So hiyo ndio tunaita religion.
So I have a friend. He was telling me that he's an atheist. Yani I was like, do these people exist? Like at least for me answer. But on the other hand, Christians mtatuonyesha maneno.
Hakuna watu wanapanga ridiculous kama
Christians mtatuonyesha maneno. Muslims, Hindus and the other people have never seen any of them. Ushaisikia mbele Waislamu wanaongelea miracles. It's only Christianity. Can you tell me something about miracles?
Miracles of
to me, miracles, some of the currently a lot of pastors are doing miracles to earn money, to gain fame. So that's why you get a lot of pastors are doing a lot of, in fact even the no miracles.
But I fake miracles.
No, you know not to pass here amemwagia watu maji.
Watu wameanguka wote.
Wanaanza hata wenye wanajia advertising wanasema kuja upate muujiza.
But there's a
way is not a muujiza. Unaenda but hakuna muujiza yenyewe.
Sometimes hope it happens, but I was told that some of these pastors pay people. Some people you see that they come to church, wenda pale mbele mtu anaombewa anajitandaza kama nyoka kidogo ashakuwa sawa. I had someone tell me that wanalipangwa.
For someone to act that way.
Yeah, unalipo worked. Some churches unalipo worked. Unakuja react. And then I know the rest of the believers wataamini, but when a person mnajua dilenye mmekoroga hapo. Unajizungusha hapo kama nyoka bana mfuko wako.
Naona mnaongelea experiences zangu. Like I was trying to tell you mimi ni passive lakini itabidi nimetoka hiyo side. I went to some other church before nianze nikitanga
akitafuta church
before they settle. I went to some other church with my friend and then tukienda kuombewa we were invited, like let's say the four of us we were invited into a church, then tunafika time ya prayers. So I went with this friend of mine, anakwanga tu kama huyu Peter. Peter will always tell you the truth. So tukaenda kuombewa hapo, then tukishaombewa then my friend akarudi, Ryan, kwa nini mpasta tusukuma kichwa tu anguke? Force why?
Ana force mwanguke bana.
Acha tuambiane ukweli. Mimi kama wewe ni atheist ni sawa. Hindu ni sawa. I really respect your religion. But saa zingine religion is something that is close to God. But a lot of people and more especially it's only ridiculous in Kenya. The churches zinakuwa ridiculous. Maybe nisikia the West it's okay. To struck out of context. Nilikuwa nasema it's only in Kenya that is how you sell hope. No, hope ndo anasemanga kuna certain na kitabu nilikuwa inasema hope is the best thing, is the best commodity in the market. When you're selling hope. Unaona kama mimi nimejaribu kutafuta sipati, kazi sipati, bibi sipati. Like uko desperate. When you are desperate you'll hope for anything to salvage you out of the situation that you are in. So this is what the pastors and the preachers take advantage of. Because if you are desperate, then you mean you are hopeful for anything. Kichote yenye italetwa mbele yako, you will take it. Chances are 90% utaiendea. Ndio maana nikikwambia kuja kwangu na 30,000 nitakusaidia upate kazi ya 70,000. Mtu hajakaa chini afikirie, unapata ana hiyo 30,000. Anaenda anakopa branch, anakopa wapi, anakopa mabeshti ndio apelekee pastor muombe apate kazi ya 70,000. Jamaa hajafikiria hii 30,000. Si naweza tengeneza biashara, invest kwa biashara ya kuuza smoki na mayai nitengeneze. Unaona? So ni brainwashing, yani uongo bila kazi.
But I have a question. Why is it that a lot of women ndio wanakuanga affected na hizi mambo na religion?
Juu wanawake tunajua kuact bwana. Like ladies know to act. Tunajua some men they don't entertain jokes. So maybe it's in fact the person and find it hard to approach men. But ladies bwana, unafungwa lesson unazunguka. Ladies know to act.
What do you think? Why is it yes.
But like I have a question. Like the question is, do all pastors that perform miracles, like inakwanga hivyo, maybe now there are some true pastors like they perform miracles really?
Okay. Before we turn up on the authenticity of miracles, right? Why do you think that majority on all these mediocre churches, sorry for the word, but it's mediocre, honestly, why is it that a larger percentage of women are the ones who are affected rather than men? Okay. Considering the fact that ndio wanasemanga the ratio of women ni kubwa kuliko ya machali, but what do you think? Because it's religion, we are all of equal measure.
You see, when it comes to ladies, let me just classify women and every other F gender to be ladies. When it comes to ladies, if I try and address directly to the camera, ladies, they are submissive in nature, and when you just tell them that this is going to happen, their motives, their aims is always higher than that of men. And these ladies, it is not just people from backgrounds the backgrounds that are well developed. Wanakuanga watu wenye poor. Most of these churches utapata those who are desperate ndio wanajipata kwa this stuff. And whereas when it comes to men, they always believe it's very hard to lure a man into a trap of this, let's say, archaic cults. It's very hard to lure a man. So the percentage of luring ladies is quite higher. And then ladies have a higher affinity of bringing some move people. We as men, ladies will always entice us. Huyu atanidanganya hapa, tukosane, akuje tena nidanganye, nisahau, huyu tena nidanganye. Ladies have that goal. So that is what happens in the church. So the essence of ladies being lured in the church is quite higher than that of men.
Okay, me I think from a more professional angle, ladies, or generally women, are emotional creatures. And the only way to brainwash a person is when you tap into the emotional circle. Kama mimi nataka kuingia box, mimi nitaanza, unajua sijakula siku mbili. Wallahi mamangu alikufa. You know?
Tulia ya ukweli.
So the moment I tap into your emotional circle, then I can get to you as very quickly. But me mwanaume before muanze kuingia uingie kwa emotional circle yake, si rahisi. But madam, women are emotional creatures and they are very compassionate. Like mde mkuje kwambia, manze Delia, niko mbaya. Aki nini mbaya? Sijakula. Okay, aki niko na 20 bob. Shikaenda kule machungwa. Ni rahisi, but mimi bwana bro sijakula. Uko sure? The first thing ni nashuku, nacheka kwanza. But madam ni rahisi sana get into emotional circle. And that's when pastors hiyo ndio kitu watu wanatumianga sana. Ndio maana unapata kwa hizi churches mingi ati pastor Kanyari. Wanawake ndio walikuwa wamejaa wengi sana. Pastor Nganga church yake ni wanawake ndio wamejaa sana. Hata ukiangalia hizo services ama communication person ama media person. So hizi vitu lazima tunaangalia. Ukiangalia kwa church ya pastor Nganga unaona madem ndio wamejaa. So Deli alikuwa ameuliza the authenticity of miracles. Tukiangalia, unajua ni vizuri kama tunaongelelea religion, tukue na some relevance from the Bible. Sijui kama kuna mwenye anaweza tufunza kidogo.
Mimi kama pasi hapa ni.
Pasi sawa.
As we tackle that, as we look into that, ukiongelelea story na emotions and every other thing, something that has come into my mind is can you try lowering our director of photography into your emotions? Uchukue tu is called Juma. Yeye jaribu kuchukua Juma unamwambia Juma ni hivi na hivi. Can you say something about that? Unaweza?
Our director of photography anakuangalia mzee acha mchezo.
Kama mandevu peke yake zinaogopa. Rejewe inashtua.
Ashai kutolea miwani unasema
nachekangi na mtu.
So in the book of Hebrews verses 2, Hebrews 2 verse 4, it says miracles are confirmed by God. The power of God working through individuals to perform signs and powers. It says, even too short, miracles are confirmed by God. That is to say, it is only God himself can attest for a miracle. Because nobody, even ukienda punga pale kuombewa na pasi, the pastor should not always give it direct at the end amefanya. He should always say, sent, I am just a servant. They are servants. Servants sent by the Lord. So it shouldn't be like that. In aspect to that miracle, I just saw as I was passing with my car, you know,
I think PS tunafaa tu.
Wamekulia watu sadaka.
Nilisikia mtu anasema kukosa partner is not as bitter, but kukosa gari is bitter than kukosa partner.
I was driving around Ruiru, nikielekea hivyo Rainbow to take some dinner, and then I noted Pastor Ezekiel is around. Do you know that?
Yeah. New Life Church Center.
The New Life.
Pastor Ezekiel is around. And the motive of people going there, I heard some mama saying, tuende Kasarani. Watu wataponywa and siji, the guy performs miracles. I don't know the direct authenticity of his miracles because back behind, he had some scandals with the Shakahola massacre and every other thing. And I just think we are getting brainwashed.
Okay. These things. What mimi, I really like looking for examples from the Bible so that I can be as relevant as possible. Ukiangalia kwa the woman who had the flow of blood, she like literally had to look where Jesus was. Alitafuta hii miujiza. Ukiangalia Naaman alitoka mahali alikuwa akaenda kutafuta miujiza, akaambia oge kwa River Jordan 7 times. So I believe in that aspect, like lazima uende mahali ndio preacher ako Kasarani, acha tuende Kasarani so that we can tap that grace. But at the end of the day, there is something that I want you guys to believe. The Bible says where 2 or more people are gathered, there is the presence of God, right? Sure. So it means sisi wanne hivi tukikuja pamoja and you are praying, most definitely, and chances are 100%, hata kama sisi we are sinners, which we are all by default, but we are under grace, right? So inamaanisha kuna presence ya God itakuwa hapo. Na ukiangalia kwa Bible kuna mtu mwenye aliponya, unaona kumbuka kuna disciples walijaribu kuponya mtu fulani hiyo kutoka spirit fulani. Disciples wakashindwa kuponya huyo mtu. But kulikuwa na mtu hapo kando mwenye hakuwa disciple wa Jesus, but aliweza kukasi hiyo demon kutoka kwa huyo kijana. So my point is, si lazima ikuwe ni preacher ndiye atakuponya. Si lazima ikuwe ati ni a man of God ndiye atakuponya. Unaona kwa wale watu wenye wako hapo kwa hiyo church, ndio maana unasikianga hata watu tulienda kuombea nani akapona. Nyinyi mnaanza kusema, "Oh, pastor nani akona grace." Au tulimwombea akapona. It's not always the truth. Tunaweza enda 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 people kwenda kuombea Hopi if she's sick, God forbid. Kama tunaenda kumwombea Hopi, but in our midst we have a religious leader. Tutaenda tumwombe. Chances are hata inaweza pata si miracle, si nani amemponya, sio pastor amemponya. Right, unaweza kuwa mama unasema, God, please help my friend. But the kind of faith you have in your heart ndio itaponya hope. But ile faith yenye deni yako nayo ndio itaponya. So it's not always that ni pastor ndiye amemponya. People might confuse that because kuna venye wanamwangalia za leader and akiwa in your midst, so unaweza sema this man amemponya. It's not always the case.
And you know something that is very noticeable that I've realized with the miracles. Miracles are not instant. Like utaenda pale pasia kuombe na mara hiyo headache.
Hiyo inakuanga drama.
Drama za kulipwa.
You know hizo zinakuanga vitu zenye People just create of their own. But what I know, God answers are always three. It's always a no, either answer or a yes.
Yeah.
You just be patient. That is what happens. Hata saizi ukiomba, you'll not notice. Most of us will always say that niliomba
But
lakini haijafanyika, and then 7 days later imefanyika. How will you know that it's the prayer that you had sent ama ilifanyika to me? People say it's bahati. That is something that we also see in the society na tunasema hizi vitu wacha zikae. We've spoke about miracles. We've spoken about time. Have we spoken about times?
Yeah, we spoke about times. Yeah.
Hapa sasa kwa ndoa. Hapa ndo ninahitaji sana.
Like, what does the Bible say about dating? Is that your point?
Yeah.
Yes, juu sasa mimi kuna mali naendaga. Sasa na nishaenda unaanza kusikia sijui mtu ako 22 na anaanza kuambia usidate. Ati achana na mambo za boyfriend bro.
Biblia inasema wapi?
You are 23. Okay, honestly speaking, you are 23 years old. You don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a boyfriend. What are you doing?
Tusitaje jina mtu, please. Stop look at
Ryan.
Please. You are 22 years old, 23, 24, because I believe the ideal time for according to me, of course, the ideal time ya dem kwa in a marriage setup is between 23 to 25. Her prime. Mwanaume unaweza enda 30 nobody cares.
Like you mean dem anafaa kuelewa kwa 23 to 25?
That is the ideal age. 23 to 25, hapo you are on your best.
You're just 22 years old. Please prepare next year.
No, like nilikuwa wedding jana, like Saturday, and the bride was 22 years old.
Exactly. Unaona
22.
Unaona hii age ya kuanzia 22, 23, 24, 25 ndio inakuanga ideal age ya dem kuolewa. Ndio maana unasikia let the bride akwe older kuliko the bridegroom. Because
no, come on Peter, bride ni nani wewe?
Let the groom akwe mkubwa kuliko the bridegroom. Ndio kama boy ashaji establish by the time ako 30 35 ame-publish.
Peleka hiyo 30 35.
Ame-publish akona anaweza he can take care of you. Na mdemo akiwa 22 sasa ndio ako mrembo. Sasa hapo kila mtu ako hivi.
Mrembo, but let me give an example maybe with the bride that tulikuwa rasi yake. The girl alimaliza shule akiwa 20. She graduated on campus akiwa 20. So ni mtu alikuwa amekaa nje for 2 years na ako working class. Like hadi ukiangalia like nilisikia wazazi wake wanasema like she's young but ako ready kuanza familia yake. She's earning, amemaliza masomo and she's good for marriage.
So it shows that marriage does not have the exact age for kuolewa.
Mimi nilikuwa nasema according to me.
Lakini asikuwa ya 19 bwana.
But mimi naona ukiwa hapo 22, 23, 24, 25
ina make
usi 27 ukishafika 28 you want nani 30 akituambia ni tu
For a girl,
hata unajua girl child si rahisi hapo ndo wanaanza kusema yoyote ule bora ni mwanaume unacheki
Peter mtani 23 next year so nianze kutafuta mchumba.
Usianze kutafuta mtu. God's time is the best. God's time iko hapa acha tu God's time yako iko hapa kuanzia hapo mpaka isifike 28 watu wanaona shaacha kuangalia honestly speaking isiende mpaka. So mimi nilikuwa nasema ndio hata kama you are a Christian, you are religious and all that, but courting is a very crucial thing for any human being. Courting ina time. Kuna watu walianza kukota wakiwa class 8. Walienda walimaliza campus walioana. Courting haina shida. Ndio hapo tunafaa tuangalie the Christian or the religious perspective of dating.
But Peter, let me say that the Bible does not specifically address us about the modern dating, but it gives us an understanding of the principles that inform us more about relationships. For example, the Bible speaks about purity. Purity and holiness.
Kuna mtu mwenye mnaguza.
Elaborate on this.
Kitabu cha Thessalonia. The Bible speaks about purity and holiness.
No, I just want to know. Elaborate purity. Pure in what?
Like in terms of
Mambo
sexuality.
mingi.
In terms
Meaning
of
if we are
sexuality.
having
So you
it should be
guys
pure.
you're going against
Acha mimi niseme.
Get it.
Acha vitao, yeah.
Ndio Bible inasema purity, of course, yeah. 100% I support that. I'm a Christian. That's what I follow.
That's to follow Peter.
Oh, okay, nilikuwa nasema as I was saying, I'm a Christian. I am not under canon law. There is a certain set of rules and I follow. That is the 10 commandments. But what is the ideal age in the Bible ya kudate? Is there?
Hakuna Biblia inasema mali.
There is no age in the Bible.
But ukiangalia in the kwa Bible ukiangalia instances where kuna relationship, utaona there is something like a courtship. Sindio? So maybe I do believe in courtship. So usikataze watu kudate, wa church, the religious leaders, those people who help us in the church, please do not tell people not to date. Ndio maana unapeleka unapata wasichana ama women so walikuwa naambiwa see you huko hizo vitu zote walikuwa naambiwa wasidate, si ndio? Mtu anaingia kampo anamaliza a date, akimaliza kazi hivi anapata dem, wanajua na 6 months wanaoana, anapata mtoi wana separate. Kwa nini? Au jazoeana, hujapata kana characters fulani. Kwani mdemo anaweza ati unaona unasikia ati tell me the kind of qualities you want in a man. Nikupatie ndo ujifanye. Mimi siwezi kukwambia what I want in a woman. I'll quote you.
So you dating?
Yes, I'm dating.
These are qualities you like.
So hata mimi siwezi kukwambia what the qualities I want in a lady. I'll quote you. I'll see the kind of characteristics you have. Unapata unakutana na dem, unamwambia mimi I want a God fearing woman. For the next 6 months.
God fearing.
Sunday anakuanga 6 up, anakuamba kupigia nguo pasi mwende church. But in the next mkisha one in the next 2 years umepata mtoi, divorce inakuja. Divorce unaanza kukwambia ulipe sijui ni child support. Child support inakata like 50% of your salary. By the time mtoi yako anafika 18 na ulikuwa 30 plus 18 you around 60 years. 60 years hakuna wealth utakuwa umeaccumulate, honestly speaking. Ndio maana mimi na support let people quote. Watu wa church, watu wa Christian Union, watu wa Sunday school, youth Catholic inakwanga youth. Catholic
tunajitanga za kanisa.
Seminars, all those religious leaders, stop telling people not to date. Tell people date, but under these certain types of rules. Do not have sex before marriage. Do not do this. Do not do come we stay.
Rana nakata hiyo point.
Ambia watu ndio dating is not bad, but usifanye hii na hii kama you have not put the ring on the finger. Si ndio? Ndio.
The ring on the finger.
Si ndio, the ring on the finger. Ndio tutaizi vitu ndio so that we can eliminate instances za unapata watu wengi huku nje ni masingle dad, mababy daddy na mababy mama. Hata watu wajuane. Mimi saizi ni kama ni I'm coaching a girl tulijuana naye campus. But the time I'm ready, I'm getting nimemaliza job, I'm ready to marry her. Those will be like 8-7 years. Dem nishamjua inside out. I know whether this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with or not. That's what I believe.
But you know, Peter, today you've made me think and it come out as a there is something you said. Kuhusu Biblia. Leo umechambua Biblia. Hebu tuanze tu hapa kwa Biblia. You know, when someone always speak about the Bible, ati sijui marriage in the Bible, watu wenye wakujanga tu kwa akili yangu are very old people. Kina Abraham. Mtu akikwambia Samson, you are very old man that. Sasa hapo kwa age na marriage, hata kama iko but it's okay. Come we stay. Come we stay is the problem. Me, I just think as long as you believe in love, ishi na huyo mjamaa. Religion these days inatupeleka mbali sana. Some of us cannot afford for weddings.
Exactly.
So any other thing. And you also know the legal marriages, the ones that are done in the government setups, whatever, they also need money. Here, church pia siku hizi nataka money. The world today is modernized. So if you can't afford that one, then it's better you just go and stay with this lady. Mzai watoto, mpate watoto, as long as your marriage mnaenda tu pale kwa pasi. Naonanga siku hizi, if you are even doing, if you want to approach a lady, you want to marry that lady, you just don't say, pasi, this is the lady I want to marry. As long as it is ordained in the church, umesema to this is the person I have, no other man will come and approach the lady. It's now free that the lady is yours. Talking about, you've spoken also about sex. Pastors last.
True.
And they have feelings.
Because it's the daddy has said, Hachi is daddy, mommy.
Papa, the papa.
Mimi nisikie hata mademo wenyewe waite hivyo mapasta wao, lakini mimi wangu nisema daddy, who are you daddy? The only daddy I know, my daddy, the one in heaven. That's the only daddy.
Okay.
Karibu nipe hiyo jibu yangu.
Why are you calling daddy? Your pastor, you're calling your pastor daddy. The only daddy we have is your father, biological father, and our father in heaven.
It's daddy, the spiritual father.
Some people have spiritual parents. You find you have a spiritual dad.
Can you call Mr. Keganjo?
Listen, Peter. Some are good.
Sure.
Some are real, like they are real. I have a spiritual dad and I have a spiritual mom.
Where?
And for real, like they are real.
I'm sorry.
They are real. But sa kuna wale wengine wenye what take advantage of you. So I think when maybe you're choosing a spiritual father, try to add ladies because ndio tuko most target. Pastor, those daddies or papas that living with you. I think for you to get a spiritual dad, like omba Mungu, hata Mungu akufungulie like macho. Is like easy for real as my spiritual dad. Ama anataka kunitumia vibaya, you see? So like we should not judge all of them. Let's maybe judge a few.
I'm not judging. But I feel I want to critique to some extent. You'll find when you're doing nini, when that lady, for example, anataka kwenda kwa huyo dad, she's very humble. So unajua kwanza daddy spiritual. Mademo kwanza akunanga kitu inawambolingi kama mambo na spirituality. Lakini anakuwa very humble. Ako very humble, haizi shautia spiritual daddy wake. Kitu yote spiritual daddy anasema hata hakuna kuquestion anafanya. Lakini ikifika kwa husband wake kwa nyumba.
That is the problem.
Unashindwa, why are you kneeling before your pastor, your spiritual daddy, but hata your boyfriend, your man back at home in the house. Unajua ndio anasema but haujai hata kneel umpatie hata maji ya kunywa. Una kazi ni kumrudishia venye unataka. Why? Because I believe chastity starts at home. Then that means the first church you have is in your home. Your kids, the way you bring up, that is your first church. So I believe whatever you are unaonyeshana huko kwa church before your spiritual dad, inafaa ianze na how you are treating your husband or your boyfriend.
Can I tell you
why? Tell me why I went to a specific church. Why? Ushajionyea miujiza. Like I'm a Methodist. It was my first time going to a ministry church. Jawai. So tumefika kanisa. Hey, daddy akafika, the pastor of the church. I tell you, alikuwa red carpet. Wasichana walikuwa wamevaa hizi like they are well dressed with trumpets. Anapigiwa trumpets like funny masaa. So eti ni masaa ya pastor kuingia kanisa. Trumpets. Na akipita kwa red carpet, akifika mahali huko una kneel down. Sasa anaingia kanisa. Hey, mimi nikashanga what's happening. Akaingia kanisa. Tell me why when you want to go to talk to him after church, yeye pasi na bibi yake wako na high place kwa kanisa. Kwenda kuongelesha hapo kuna ka green, zile carpet za green zile za kununuliwa. My friend, you are kneeling. Anything mnaongea. The funny thing, kijana yake, like their son was alikuwa to invite. Their own son. Ananil bana kwa mamake mambo za nyumba like borake ni hapa kwa kanisa unampigia magoti. I've never knelt even in front of my parents, man.
Kama wewe si Jesus, the only person I can kneel before is Jesus, because ukiangalia examples in the Bible, people used to go and kneel before Jesus. Even prominent people like unaona Peter said he healed some blind person. So okay, me I'll say, can you just pray for discernment?
Yeah,
Sure.
Do not worship a human being. Do not worship your pastor.
You know, churches these days, they've just been overrated. Something that I've noticed is that, have you realized that our mapasi, they siku hizi wako na secretarials. Like if you want to reach the pastor, you must pass through the secretary, and then hata kufika tu ile kiwango ya churches zingine ili ufike tu praise and worship.
You have to undergo some
hapa
things.
chini ni kama umeenda umepeperushwa kupeperushwa. So hizo vitu zinafanya things are making it so tough when it comes to church matters and every other thing. And something else, turudi tu huku tulikuwa tunasema sex before marriage and last. Is there someone who has watched there's a movie, A Taste of Sin. It's on Netflix. Something that I realized in that movie, lust does not come because somebody wants to. You know, it's a biological behavior that it is in our body. And some are circumstances. You can't tell me, like the movie I was watching, huyu pasi, bibi yake hakuwa anaweza zaa. But ilifanyika, aliona dem akioga. Like, I can come to your place. Haiko place in the office. You know these big assets za offices zenye ziko na washrooms and every other thing. So alikuwa anaenda kwa ofisi, then kutoka in the washroom because the washroom was being shared. Then accidentally, macha yana pazia, hata mimi nikiona nitaona. Okay? Nitaona. And because we are men, mwili lazima itachangamka. Kama mwili haichangamki, mwili haiko normal. Juu bibi yake pia was not able to give birth. But sasa vile aliona, she lasted for this lady. It's a memory. Ilikuwa kwa thought yake. So every time ameenda, should I ask God that it is sinful I saw this thing? Uzai kufunga macho. Yes, ningefunga, lakini kuona nimeona. So ikafanyika that he slept with this woman. Do you think that one was wrong?
It was wrong.
How is it wrong?
It was wrong in a way.
It was wrong in a way since the pastor is married. But now the wife is not able to give birth. You get? But now, seeing that thing, si aliona the lady. What hange take action?
Oh, you know something that happened? Huyu the lady mwenye aliona, the lady had feelings for Percy. So after the lady aliona, kumbe the lady pia alikuwa anasema, vile uliniona, mimi pia nilikuona. But I assumed. The lady assumed. So things happened. Me, on my side, I just think that the pastor wasn't wrong. Their biological factors huwezi kataa. Hata rape, if someone is being raped, huwezi kataa. Juu sasa ninarepiwa siwezi fika mimba. You see?
Hapo kwa sex, kuna kitu nataka we all understand. There is a very thin line between ethical considerations, if I may call it that, spirituality, and sin. There is a very narrow line between what is okay to do and what is sin to do. Because you'll say, mimi huyu msichana ni mrembo. She's very good looking. Siwezi jizuia kuona. But what drives you after we kumuona? Do you just, okay, she's beautiful, she's curvy and stuff. Yes, she's good looking. God, you did nice work in your creation. But you're not supposed to go beyond that.
Yeah.
Do not lust. Lust is a sin, whether we like it
Or not, sure.
Whether we want to normalize it or not. Lust is still a sin. There is nothing you can change about that. So you're not supposed to go beyond that and lust, of which staki kwanza kunormalize anything. Lasting is normal. I don't want to put it like that, but it happens because now when you start bringing in biological factors, but because at the end of the day it depends with what you're feeding into your mind.
Yeah.
Because if you umezoea for example, if you're umezoea watch pornography, so hizo vitu zinaenda things that ni kama unapatia tumbo chakula. So kuna vitu zenye zinaendanga some things that excite the brain. Mimi kama ni mimi nikiendesha pikipiki ama nikiendesha gari yenye iko na kelele, hiyo inanipatia some adrenaline, inafanya brain yangu inakuwa very excited when naendesha gari. Kwanza hizo kelele za gari na pikipiki, I'm usually very excited. So kuna some types of things when you feed it into your mind gets excited when you see. For example, a good thing is pornography. When you watch pornography, your mind gets excited. And what happens is, when you want to, when your mind is excited, you always want to see it again and again and again. It becomes an addiction. The same way, Mimi, I'll want to drive a motorcycle forever. It's not a bad thing. It's a good addiction. I want to have a nice car or to drive. Driving is a good addiction, all right? But pornography is not a good addiction because unataka kuiona kila saa because it has that there is a certain way it excites your brain. So it depends. What are you feeding your brain?
Then, in addition to whatever you're saying, Peter, in churches today we have the first service, the second service. At the second service ni ya watu wakubwa, first service ni ya watoto. There was a day we went to church, and I was looking at my parents. Na sasa umejua teenagers, I was at my teenage. Teenagers, mkishamaliza session yenu, mnaendanga mnajoin ile ya watu wakubwa. Obvious, mtaipata kama iko katikati na mtajoin. And so the topic was all about lust and every other thing. And they were teaching about the story of Potiphar. And our parents were there. So examples zinapeanwa hapa kwa church, and then the story of Samson. Then I just saw my parents walk away. I was like,
They walked away.
We are in the same room. Do you think there was a guilt of parents kusikia tukifunza hizi vitu? Was it by tukifunza pamoja na? You see, there are some topics in church you'll notice. Kama they are talking, watoto wote mnajisikianga tu muangalie chini. When it comes to marriage, sex, and sijui whatever. Yes, it should be told in church.
That even a little the point, don't you? Hope. Even a little the point of sensationalization the church. There is a certain types of topics we can discuss in the church and others not. We think that is wrong. Please, if I'm correct, the church is where you come to get your problem solved. Tafadhali, churches, stop gatekeeping some topics that you can teach about in the church and others you cannot. At the end of the day, you want an all-round Christian, a Christian who's doing well in the economic world, a good job, a Christian who's doing well in the growth of their faith, and a Christian who's doing well in the world, because of that. At the end of the day, we are in the world. You cannot. How will you build a church when you don't have funds? How will you buy the church a van, a good music system, and you don't have the funds? So at the end of the day, we all need an all-round Christian. Christian mwenye akona do, akona do, akona magari, ako vizuri, faith yake iko vizuri, ana socialize vizuri na watu, like gusia kila topic. Usiache topic zingine ati tunazoangalia zingine tuweze.
On that point, Peter, you are saying that there is these topics that you want to talk about in the church, and the other topics you don't touch them, because say for example we have kids, we have the adults now in the church. I think that is not good, because at times you find my relationship, for example, with my parents, there are some things my parents can't tell me, but when I go to church, I'm being taught, and then I get to know more I get to learn more and to know more about other things that my parents don't tell me. You get?
There was something Delia I wanted to add on top of that.
I want to say that on Rand's point, yeah, like all topics should be tackled in the church, but no, Rand's point was the audience. There are some topics you won't tackle, Peter, when my parents, when we have my parents, maybe my small brothers and I. That's why we find most churches right now, they are separating classes. There are classes for the
kids.
Toddlers. There are classes for a certain age. Yeah,
Teenage.
there are youth classes, and now we have the elders, now our parents. I think now that's the solution. Like maybe if there's a topic that you want to tackle, maybe more, for example, sex. You know, you can't go tackle sex law like my brother is in class 7. Yeah, I know he's in adolescent stage. But now there's some points that parents should be told that, no, you're making my brother burn around. That's not good. So I think now that's Trans point, that some topics, when the churches are tackling some topics, at least try and separate the group. There's some topics, you like don't tackle all topics when the entire church we are mixed up. I think that's the Trans point.
Okay, then Rich Kid, there is a rich kid.
Hey.
Where?
It's my nick.
Kwa nini?
Rich kid.
It's my name.
Kwa nini unasema hiyo jina but no poor kid? I don't want.
It's not poor.
May you be rich forever.
Amen.
Simseme amen ama ni.
Amen.
Just in
Okay.
case you forgot, I have a Rolex. Just in case you forgot.
I have a car.
Just a company.
Okay.
Rich kid just said something, or Peter said something to do with the funding. The church must move on due to funding. Yes, funding si mbaya. Kuna ujenzi, kuna sijui nini. And the media these days, we've found that we even have live streaming broadcasts that only tackle things that have to do with God. And straight when I follow into these things, utapata upasi ataingia na ameingia na pay bill na account number. Mwingine pia ametuma kwa hii sijui nini. Something that I realized, if you watch hizi vitu za Kanyari, hasa za Kanyari, you'll find atasema ukiwa na 100 shilingi 10 I've never had. It's always 110. Bora ikuwe noti.
Kwa sababu nganga anasemanga dhao.
You hear?
Hebu achane na komanda.
Komanda.
Kwani wewe ni mshirika huko?
Alisema yeye si pastor, yeye si bishop, yeye ni komanda.
Ana command?
Yeye anasema ukweli.
See, like I was trying to say, they say tutoe pesa. One thing that I'd noticed, utawatch kitu imefanyika leo. Today is on 23rd, sindio? You'll watch it 23rd today. The same thing, utaiona 2 weeks later. Nani from nani anaomba usaidizi, this. Do you think that our pastors these days, we are exploiting ourselves into the church in order to get some other things? And then something that had also followed and I found, even our mapasi when you wako hapa ndani, because these big churches, you will find that they are being paid. Heri zile za kitambo zilikuwa you volunteer.
So nowadays pastors are being paid.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I'm a Catholic. There is something I want to give you from the Catholic perspective. And I'm not sorry to say this, but honestly speaking, our religious leaders, you have let us down. You have commercialized the church and you're using it as a means to exploit a believer. Because if you look at there is this parable that Jesus Christ was teaching on how to give. You'll see that poor woman who gave, was it a cent? When you lived on a cent. Jesus Christ said, Jesus Christ was teaching, he said that woman who gave her cent, she gave her all.
She gave all she had.
That is the woman who, when she went home, she felt right by heart and she was blessed. But these are the rich people. They give out of their abundance. They give what they can spare. That is wrong. Stop telling people toa. Because at the end of the day, believe, what is the posture of your heart? Nimetoa 1 million kwa church, but what is the posture of my heart? Sijatoa ati ndio nibadili. Nimetoa ndio mnione niko na pesa. So hiyo ni kazi bure. So and we are teaching, unajua kwa sababu at the end of the day, sin pastor anaenda ku benefit. Whether he doesn't care the posture of your heart, that is wrong. So hata kama umetoa 10 bob, umetoa 5 bob, umetoa 1000. What is the posture of your heart?
Sure.
The posture of your heart inafaa kutoa from a very generous heart, umetoa na moyo yako yote, and then you'll be blessed. And you don't, si lazima utoe pesa. I know today it's all about paper. Hiyo ndio inasaidia. Uwezo yani siwezi kuanza kupeleka lori mzima na bricks. If there was such a thing, me I'll advocate for that. So do you know that in the Islams they don't do offerings and tithes?
I heard that. I was so surprised. I didn't because it.
Unajua hivyo?
They don't offer.
How do you?
Shaban Yusuf hawatwangi tithing na.
Shaban.
And then you know something else that I had also realized, apart from Muslims, in my next world, ningesema mimi hata kama ni kuwa mwindi ningeoa mwindi. Something that I had realized with the Indians, they are so respectful. You'll never see.
But they worship cows.
No, we won't say. Mimi personally, I won't say that. Nina judge. If they worship cows, that is their own. Like let's
so long
say,
as your God works for you.
As long as the God is working, no problem.
You see, that is how, let's say, you'll find Luos taking fish. But you'll find a community.
Kisses.
they don't
Ikipatoke.
love fish hata kidogo. I have a friend anatoka other tribe. Aliniambia samaki nini? Like they just eat fish. Like Muslims you see, they don't like pork. Like pork it's devilish. Na sisi tunararua kwanza pork choma. You know? Yeah. Sisi tunachukua. Vile sasa wao pia wanaomba. You know Indians pia they don't take beef.
Okay.
They don't take beef because they believe that as they take beef,
Wanakula
wanakula
Mungu.
Mungu. You see how
Mtu
submissive
akikufa-
they are to
mtu
their Lord.
akikufa ana reincarnate into a cow. So that's why they don't take meat.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, now these people are submissive and they truly believe in. You'll never see a old mama ameacha nywele chini imenini. Akiacha nywele huwa amefunika ama wameenda mahali and there is something. There must be something down here.
Vile anajifunika.
That is to show that she's an old woman.
Do we do drink milk?
I don't know. A milk they do.
Sasa
they
kama
drink
wewe
milk.
mbona ukuja
So any blessings from there.
from their God?
Milk chai.
service
Kwanza
of
wanaitanga
their
chai. Kwanza wanaitanga chai.
They're drinking from their God.
Yeah. On top of that, what I just wanted to elaborate. Money in church today imefanya watu wametangana kanisani. Have you ever noticed in church kuna mtu mwenye akiingia tu hivi pasi lazima tamrecognize.
Not only pastors, nowadays even church leaders wana recognize watu wa pesa. Tusalimie katika jiji, naomba utusalimie, not
Hata Bahati
tusalimie.
ajaribu enda kanisa hivyo tusikia yes the Bahatis are there.
Lakini wewe ukienda kanisani you only get recognized hiyo siku yenye wewe ni mgeni.
Yeah.
That is the only opportunity you'll find. These days church unapata kuna venye pesa ili uende kanisa kuna pesa.
Kuna.
I once told my friend that si tuende sita huko juu. Akaniambia hawezi enda. Why? Because of money.
Right.
Ali feel like kuna difference
Don't belong.
between mali anatoka na mali atoka, kuna pride. So can you tell me something about these things as how it goes?
Okay,
Do you think
in
it's
Catholic, priests are not under payroll. Priests are not under payroll. Priests do not marry, which is a very controversial topic.
Lakini pia Kristo Catholic
Siku hizi pia wao.
Squeeze pia, so
Catholic.
enyewe inataka ni Mungu kila mahali. So acha tukimalizia, priest in Catholic Church there is no priest who is under payroll. Na hata kama kuna ile wanapatuanga maybe ya airtime na maybe to fuel their vehicles inakuanga 10,000. That's what I know. 10,000. Yeah, unapatiwa maybe maybe you need airtime somewhere, but all the money that is contributed it goes to the parish ina buy food kusaidia, maybe kuna wale watu wako sponsored by the church inaenda food ingine inaenda hata hii matoleo yenye unasikianga they collect food every first nini ile nini ya kwanza after season ikipelekwa inapelekwa kwa hizo ma children's home na naona seminary school kama yenye nilikuwa mali where priest land. Ukitoka hapo una supposed to go and become a priest. Chakula ingine napelekangu huko. That's what I like about my nini. You don't ati pastor pesa yote na pastor anaanza kusema ati leo mmenitolea mashilingi.
But I want to say something. To me, it's a mistake that the pastors, the Christian pastors are doing. Now that in the church they have levels. The rich one, the middle, and then the poor. I don't say the poor, but now that class, the classes.
And
so they have involved, wameleta classes kwa church. Now that they recognize the people with money, and then kama una pesa, they don't recognize you, of which that is not good. Because church ni a God, we have to do everyone to be equal.
Beatitudes.
Yes.
Happy are the poor.
Happy are the poor. So I think as we conclude, I may also like to tell somebody outside there, maybe if I look you straight into the camera, is that wewe ukitoka pale unaenda kanisani, it doesn't matter whether you are a Muslim, Hindu, atheist, or Christian. Believe in your faith. Believe in your faith, and your faith will pull you out. I don't know what Delia has to tell you.
Maybe I can say that church, we are the church.
Sure.
So sisi wenyewe tujenge kanisa ama ni aje?
Kabisa.
Kanisa litajengwa na kina nani?
Kanisa litajengwa na kina nani?
And what I'd like to tell you back at home, please, everyone has a personal relationship with God. You don't have to go to your pastor to communicate to God. You can just go for some little guidance here and there, but
Sure.
the goal is pray for discernment,
Sure.
so that you can know what is right.
And what is wrong?
As we end, till next time.
Love you. Bye.